Hey guys, Bite Size Bible in a Year, chronological edition for April 17th. We read 1 Samuel 23 through 25 and Psalm 54. Remember, when we get to the end of the video, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can think about. Pick one of those and try to apply what it is that we read today to our life and give God an opportunity to speak to us. Okay, so 1 Samuel 23, we see that David is still running from Saul and he's hiding, he's hidden. But I love what verse 14 says. It says, Saul hunted him day after day, but God didn't let Saul find him. So David was hidden, but Saul couldn't find him, but God knew exactly where he was. If you feel hidden today, if you feel like God doesn't see you and you're wondering, where is God? Does he even know this is happening? Why isn't he coming through? Be encouraged. He sees you. He has not forgotten you. He sees you and is working. You are not hidden for him. And so just pray for that trust, that you'd be able to trust him even when you feel like things aren't happening the way that you would want them to. Then in Psalm 54, what's really cool about Psalm 54 is verse 1, David says, come with great power, O God, and rescue me. And then when he moves down to verse 6 at the end, he says, I will sacrifice a volunteer offering to you. I will praise your name, O Lord, for it is good. For you have rescued me from my troubles and helped me to triumph over my enemies. And so he's saying, come rescue me. But by the time he gets to the end, he says, I will praise you because you rescued me back here, so I know you're going to rescue me again. And so this is very practical for us. We can do the same thing when we're wondering if God's going to do something for us, or if we're wondering if God feels a certain way about us. We can look back and go, you know what? Nothing has changed. Just like he did this thing for me, just like he got me through that really tough circumstance, he's going to get me through this one too. Like, be specific. Like, I know that God healed me and got me through the death of my daughter. And because he did, and I'm still in one piece, and I'm even more convinced that he loves me after that, I know he can get me through anything. Things like that, reminding ourselves of the truth. Then we see that David spares Saul's life. He has this moment of, oh, maybe I shouldn't kill him. And that looks a lot like what the Holy Spirit looks like in our lives. Once we accept Christ, the Holy Spirit comes to live in us and guides us and helps us and convicts us. And a lot of times people will say, I don't really know when God is speaking and I don't know what he's saying. This is a little picture of what it can look like, where it's like, a lot of people will call it a check in the spirit, like we'll feel this, oh, I shouldn't do that. A lot of times that is the Spirit. And the more we heed it, the more we listen and do what it says, the more we understand what he sounds like. And so, you know, we'll go one way and go, well, I think this is what God has said. And then judging from what happens after that, we know, okay, that was God or that wasn't God. And the more you practice, the more you get to know what God's voice sounds like inside of you. But when we hear the Holy Spirit, we want to make sure that we go ahead and follow. Then I love what David says to Saul in 24:15. May the Lord therefore judge which of us is right and punish the guilty one. He is my advocate and he will rescue me from your power. He's so confident in his relationship with the Lord, and that's what I'm praying today. God, help me to be as confident in my relationship with you as David was in his, because man, that is empowering, isn't it? And then we see the whole incident with David and Abigail and Nabal, and how she saves Nabal from David, but then he ends up dying anyway. And I just thought, this is why we can forgive, because we don't, there's a verse in the Bible that says vengeance is the Lord's. And so we don't have to do all that. We don't have to take revenge on people and make sure they pay for what they did. God sees everything. And so we're free to go, I forgive you. That doesn't mean that I believe in what you did, or I think it's right, or it's okay. All forgiving is releasing them into God's hands and letting him deal with them, so that we can, I'm moving this way. I can heal and I can move forward, because just like this, God sees and God is handling it. So my 3 questions. Number 1, pick one of these and talk to God. Number 1, what do you need to remind yourself of today that God has done for you in the past so that it can give you courage in the future? Or number 2, what do you need to listen to the Holy Spirit for? Is there something that you feel like the Holy Spirit's been going, hey, you need to do that or not do that? What is that thing? And then 3, who do you need to turn over to God? Is there somebody you need to forgive? Start talking to God about that and let him deal with them so that you can heal and move forward. Hold on. All right, and so that is it. April 18th is let's see, 1 Samuel 26 through 29, 1 Chronicles 12, 1 through 7, and Psalm 56. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.